Well, we're all here with you if you're having trouble understanding why Paramount and the Yellowstone universe love going on random long breaks. Not just that, but they choose the worst possible times to take these hiatuses, without even a prior warning. And fans are pissed this time around. So, let's find out why 1923 couldn't progress past the 4th episode, and how people have reacted to this news. First off, the breaks are becoming a bit too expensive. Right after the mid-season final episode of Yellowstone, fans were understandably shocked to hear that the next half of 5th season wouldn't air until the summer, and it's been all chaos since then. We all knew there would be a mid-season break, but we were thinking more along the lines of a spring return. Instead, they're making fans wait for more than 6 months, at which point you may as well just call it a 6th season. Fans naturally flocked to social networks to express how frustrated they were at this sudden change of events, but there's more to it. Since Paramount's been a premium station in a lot of the people's cable packages, they would have been required to restructure their contract and then get the channel again during the summer, which is simply too much work. And now after all that, the latest prequel series 1923 is also going on a break, and it's only available on Paramount Plus, which implies that people won't just have to pay more to upgrade their cable plan, they'll have to sign up for a different streaming platform to watch the prequel. And looking at the fact that 1923 will be returning on February 5th, we all have tons of questions. What we think is going on is that they're doing this to keep us as a subscriber for a longer period, which is the greatest of all scams. These pauses are becoming too pricey to keep up with, and Paramount might lose its viewers. Coming up, the fans are fuming. Obviously, nobody was just gonna sit and let Paramount do whatever they wanted, because this was the moment where fans had gotten fully immersed into the Yellowstone experience. But the back-to-back delay in both shows has left fans in dismay, and most of them took to Twitter to get it all out. A lot of the fans were just sad at the fact that they'll now have nothing to do while they just sit around and wait for the next few episodes to roll around. But the others were pissed at the wait they were putting in between the episodes. Some fans felt played, while others agreed with the fact that this must be highly frustrating for the people who can't afford to pay extra for the platform's services. And that's honestly a pretty valid issue. The people might have planned stuff out in accordance with the show's progression, but things have taken a wholly unexpected turn, and a lot of the fans are feeling like they're being milked for money at this point. Another fan pointed out how the 6-month delay in Yellowstone had been a bit bearable, considering how they'd still tune into 1923. But now that even that is going to continue from February onwards, it's just plainly devastating to think about. Many of the fans just seem tired of the constant delay in their shows, and this might lead to a disruption in the people's viewing that may not be worth the money they're earning. Finally, it was just starting to get good. On top of everything else, this was just a pretty inconvenient time for the show to take a month off, especially because the last episode of the show that we saw appeared to have finally brought us where the entire storyline was headed. We can tell that at least 2 of the major events have finally occurred, and now that we were expecting things to pick up pace in the universe, everything is just halted. Spencer was returning to Montana to try and save the ranch, and Tiona had finally managed to get away from her horrible boarding house and was on her way home. She still wasn't out of the woods because of the awful but deserved murder she did as she fled, but all that mattered was that she was out, and she was pissed as hell. We're just out here happy at the fact that we get to finally say goodbye to the crazy nun whom we will surely never miss. Taylor didn't frequently experiment with time in the way that we saw in the prequel, and that's one of the other things that stuck with us. Yes, we do recall that we had a brief flash forward in the first episodes of 1932 and 1833, but this subtle twist with the letters seemed fresh and curiously thrilling, and a little melancholy to say the least. Spencer had no concept that his family had been grieving while he lived happily with Alex, and we know how he was already feeling terrible about himself. Now moving on to the 1923 release schedule. First off, when will we get episode 5? Well, we've explored how much we all dislike the wait that's ahead of us, but at least we still have something to look forward to, a release date. They've shown us mercy by not keeping us entirely in the dark, as they've made it known that the next episode in the series will be out on Sunday, 5th of February in 2023. The break was almost a month long, starting right after the 4th episode, and most of us were out here just wondering why the break is happening in the first place. The most viable reason we came up with was the fact that episode 4 marked the exact middle of the first season of 1923, considering how it's going to have 8 episodes in total, and the next episode will start the final half of the show. And now that they've given us all just to sit and think for the 3 weeks in between the episode, the next half of the season better be a banger. Most of the time, the reason that shows have breaks in the middle is to set the proper grounds for the next few episodes, and to simply get the audience pumped and prepared for what's to come. Looking at the events of 1923 so far, we had all been anticipating some major shifts to come in the next few episodes, so our theory might not be that far off. Still, it's hard to tell the true reason for this delay. Coming up, their struggle for originality. The showmakers have been doing some brilliant work with the Yellowstone universe, regardless of its obvious ups and downs. If we were to put ourselves in their shoes, we'll be able to see just how much hard work goes into solidifying the concepts behind everything and bringing these ideas to life. And even then, they've managed to impress audiences all over the world, especially with the prequels they've come up with. After practically everybody was blown away by 1883, their expansion led to the creation of 1923, and since then, Paramount and the directors have been dedicated to bringing the same quality onto the screens once again. While talking to Screen Rant, they talk specifically about how hard it has been to stay true to the themes they're exploring, instead of just choosing the easier route. They've been out there, working in the actual environment instead of shooting it back in California, where they could have easily done it with a green screen. But they all understand how it just wouldn't have felt real and natural, both to the audience and to the characters who were acting there. That's why they chose to go out and shoot their scenes in the small town, where they have to navigate through the obstacles together and make things work somehow. And this entire experience has helped the team not just grow together, but also get into the proper feel that the show's trying to create. All in all, they've truly enjoyed the experience. Following up, could technicality have led to this decision? Now, we all did know that this season was split into 2 parts, but none of us was aware of the fact that there will be such a lengthy break between the 2 parts. Whether this schedule was planned by Paramount beforehand or not, we have no clue, but it has certainly come off as bad decision-making on the channel's part. It may have been better to choose to delay the entire show's release a bit, rather than make the people wait in the middle of the show when they've just begun picking up on the story. But there's a real chance that maybe something went wrong on the back end, which probably would have rendered it impossible to go on with the episodes as planned. Maybe there was some incomplete footage, or maybe there was some editing and final touches still left to be done. There are plenty of reasons for needing time, and if the reason is that they have to fix things to perfect our experience with the show, we think it's okay. Rather than jeopardizing the quality of the final few episodes of this amazing show, it's better to make sure that everything's ready for release before actually putting that stuff on our screens. Not just the viewer's experience, but a lot of other things depend on this season, and one of those things is the fact that a second season might be in the making. Finally, there are more seasons for 1923 to come. This delay may have discouraged you, and it may have felt like the show and its makers are too inconsistent to keep up with the show's progress, but they're already a bit ahead of us. Paramount has already confirmed that the show will be coming back with a second season, but we don't yet know what its release schedule will look like. All we can hope is that it turns out a bit better than this season. What's more, they've also revealed that, just like the first season, the next one will also have 8 episodes in it. And we can't help but forgive the show for the break because of this awesome news. And that's a wrap, folks. What do you guys think about this unexpected break in the middle of 1923? Tell us in the comments below. And as always, make sure to click that like button and subscribe to our channel so you never miss out on more updates on your favorite movies and shows. See you in the next video.